Yo, 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 just chilling. What's real? I'll be working till 10, huh? What's up, Big Lou? What up? Just chilling. Appreciate you guys sitting in here. If you guys are still here, looks like you guys might have left. Anyways, apologize for jumping on a little couple of minutes late. I was talking to my uncle. Um, haven't spoke to him in a minute, and he hit me up out of nowhere. And I spoke to him because he gave me a few words of encouragement. And we got a couple people in the house. I'm not sure who it is, but welcome. Good afternoon. Good evening, depending where you're at. I don't know if you're in East Coast. I don't know if you're in West Coast. I don't know if you're in Midwest. I don't know if you're in the Texas area. Excuse me, I'm not aware. Anyways, appreciate you stopping by. Uh, just wanted to go talk about. We're gonna be also going on live on the No Fly Zone Recons at 4:45 p.m. Pacific time, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. What up? What up? What up? Got a low. Anyways, I don't know if you're aware, but I got bad news yesterday, Carlos. I'll talk to you privately about it. I don't want to put it on here too much. Real today. Anyways, I would want to talk about the difference between the kids of today and what they do and what they're about compared to how we grew up. You know, today it's. I'm gonna turn the camera off too because I'm driving. I don't want to keep looking down like this. But yeah, I want to talk about the kids of today. You know, they're always on their, on their devices. They're playing PlayStation and Xbox, constantly stuck in the room, stuck in the house. You know, the only type of social, social, no, the only socializing they do, other than being at school is, you know what I mean, socializing, on the internet while they're playing somebody else on a game or something, It's not like before where these kids would go outside, you know what I mean? Yeah, no doubt, Carlos, of course. Where these people, this kid, how we did it. We were outside. We used to play, whatever it was. Doorbell, we did some doorbell ditching. Only reason I said that because I heard another content creator talking about it this morning. We played, we played basketball. I played a lot of basketball outside. I went to the Boys and Girls Club. I went to the park. I had dogs when I was a youngster, so I take my dogs for walks a lot. Go play in the field, go play in the ditch, go play, all kinds of different shit. Go play hide and seek in the fields. Because when we moved from the Bay Area, we moved to a agriculture town, in the valley, and it wasn't the town is it was like 20 outside central now all the way south where we call like at the end of the town used to be the south side of town. The end now it's not. Now it's what I mean. Now it's it goes way past that. But we were always outside. It didn't matter if it was hot. Yeah, it'd be hot. You know what I mean? We'd be sweating. We'd be playing. Go to the park. Climb trees. Go collect pine cones. Whatever. We should do all of it. But go to the plunge, the swimming pool. Play baseball. Play football. We used to go play football. Different. Oh, what happened? Panisi. What happened with Panisi? Go to Panisi. What? You don't hear me? What's crack-a-lacking here? Anyways, how come Big Lou come show love? Hey, what's going on, Jerry Gambutti, our favorite Italiano from down down. Yeah, I'm talking about kids nowadays. How their social lives are stuck in the room playing video games. The only social life they got is playing with the other kids on the online. You know what I mean? And going to school. They still go to school. But other than that, there's nothing to it. Us growing up, we were always outside. We're always playing. No matter what the temperature was, if it was cold, if it was hot, you know what I mean? We'd be playing. And it is what it is. You feel me? So no matter what the temperature was, okay. Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure I got that right. Also, I want to give what's real. What's real is a good dude, man. Appreciate what's real. But yeah, say I stayed in the house. My parents would kick me out of the house to play. Yeah, well, I didn't have to kick me out. I was out there. But then when I got about, I don't remember how old I was exactly. My mom got me I don't remember ever really like getting Christmas presents like that. We weren't well off like that. Yeah, my dad used to hook me up with, when I was younger, he had me hooked up with, Reeboks and hats and different things. But then my dad lost his job where he was at for like 20 something years. By the time I came around, by the time this happened, he got the job in the early mid 60s, I think. Or maybe it might have been late 60s. I think he got the job around 66, something like that. And so fast forward to 88, 89, I'm like 10, 11 years old. He lost his job and then moved from where he was living in the Bay to the Valley where him and my mom originally purchased the house. And, things were rough back then. I didn't get too much school clothes and stuff like that. But my mom, I don't know. Actually, I don't know how they did it. If it was a collective effort or whatever, but they purchased me a basketball hoop, one that you put in the ground, some net around it. And that was my thing, man. I was always shooting hoop, man, by myself, not reacting, but how do you call that? Enacting. Like Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, you know what I mean? Michael Jordan. And, then I would have a couple friends from the neighborhood come over there and play with me. Then we would go to the school, the Boys and Girls Club, we play. We do other things. Like I said, across the street it used to be where they ended up putting a high school and a neighborhood. It used to be a field right there. You used to go up underneath the fence, and then it would be just a field on a farmer's land with the ditch. We go catching crawfish. We call crawdads, crayfish, I think they're called, and stuff like that. And I'd come home all muddy and dirty, and then there was ditches, and we used to like irrigation ditch for the crops, and we used to go swimming in there and crazy. Anyways, these kids nowadays, man, it just don't. It's just different. It's way different. You know what I mean? Way different. Everybody wants. I don't think really nobody wants to be home. Yeah, of course, to get late, you have to come home to eat dinner and shower and get ready for school the next day. But everybody, it was different, man. Just way different. I don't know if you guys seen the George Lopez's one of his one of his comedies, but he was talking about we played outside, we drank water out the water hose, you know what I mean? All that stuff, It wasn't all that all this technology, we didn't have phones, we didn't have even beepers yet at that time. I didn't, I was young. You know what I mean? But it was all about, jump on the bike, take a ride, when you're younger. Have your dog pull you on the bike, go clear across town. I remember when we were younger, me and my girl cousin were the same age. She's just a couple months older than me, like 4 months older than me. We used to go, and then we had, there was another cousin we had, but actually it was her cousin because her father and his mother were brother and sister. And then her mother and my mother were sisters. You know what I mean? But we called this guy cousin and his brother, they were cousins to us because we grew up together. Even though we weren't blood, we still called each other cousins. And, and I remember he would come, he lived on a country road, which is now not really country road now. Now it's kind of part of town. And we used to go, on long bike rides, you know what I'm saying? As kids, nowadays, I don't know if they do this elsewhere, but nowadays you'll see kids, even adults in the crowd. They'll be like 50 to 100 people riding bikes together, and sometimes even more than that. And they'll just straight up take lanes and they'll go everywhere riding their bikes. You know what I mean? So we used to do something like that, but there would only be 4 or 5 of us. You know what I mean? We go to the old dog pound, which was way out in the country. You know, now it's really not the country no more. Like I said, the development, they've done a lot of building homes over there. But we used to take rides over there, and we go check out the animals, the dogs, you know what I mean, and then ride the long ride back. And it was summertime. You know, we didn't trip on the heat. You know what I mean? We didn't trip on any of that. We wanted to be outside. You know, I couldn't see myself just being cooped up in the house. Even after back in December, I got in an accident at work. I was backing out a big rig I waited for the light to turn red. I stepped out there with my stop paddle, because I'm certified flagger at the time, and I went to back them out. And there's 3 lanes. Okay, the first lane only could go straight. The middle lane, I should say. The one that's in the right lane, closest to the sidewalk, goes straight, or they make a right into the property where I work. And then the far left lane goes either a U-turn or make a left into the BART station, which is the Bay Area Rail Transportation, right? And what happened was, the guy closest to the sidewalk, the furthest right lane, when the light turned green, he decided that he's going to go, and he flipped me off. And I went like that, and I turned my head and followed him while watching him drive off. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the fuck was that about? Like, what was that for? And before I can look forward, the guy in the middle hit me, bam. And we know exactly what happened. He was looking at his phone, and yeah, I got kicked off. Can you guys hear me now? I got kicked off. It said something went wrong, so the connection went bad. Can't hear me? Can anybody hear me? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let me know. 1 for yes, you can hear me? Or 2 for no, you can't hear me. Jerry Gambuti saying, can't hear you, hermano. The Westies is here, huh? It happened again. Bad spot. Look. What about now, guys? Can you hear me? Let me know. Oh, yes, we hear you, bro. Okay, Carlos, gracias. Is your wrench showing there? I gave you a wrench, but I don't know. It's not showing here, but I'm on the screen, bro. Let me know if your wrench is showing, Carlos. Where am I at? Where am I going? Where am I? Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, fella. Um, Carlos Muniz, no flies on weekends. 1111111. Anyways, yes, I don't see how these kids do it, man. How they just stuck in the house all day like that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I couldn't do it when I was a kid. I can't do it now. Um, they do their thing, I guess you could say. I don't know. But anyways, yes, I'm rinsed. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I did pretty much, I handled it, all that's pretty much handled. I don't think there's anybody else I'm going to give them out to. I gave out a good little amount today. That could change, but I'm pretty solid with what I got. I don't need to tell Carlos anything about any of that. He knows what to do. But anybody else, it's the same rules as over there in the no-fly zone. Anybody's welcome here. Um, you know, constructive criticism is fine, but no personal attacks on family or any of that type of stuff. I don't think we'll get that over here. You know what I mean? I hope not. I don't think we will, but if we do, hit them over the head. You know what I mean? We will continue to go in on this topic later as well. Okay, cool. The other thing I was going to bring up was I dropped a little video. I don't think it's dropped yet. It's still YouTube's still doing their thing on it. You know how they process it or whatever. I dropped a little thing about the hustles, all the hustles in the joint. You know what I mean? All the different hustles. I touched on the phones and the tobacco and dope trade somewhat, only like mentioning it. I didn't say anything. I kind of broke it down a little bit on the profit margins, but I didn't go into no details about anything, and I'm not gonna. So I went ahead and said, anybody got questions, they can ask me, or they can ask me on the live. But as far as that situation when it comes to that, I'm not gonna open up about any of that. You know what I mean? And I gave a bunch of different hustles. I gave a huge amount of hustles on there. From tattooing to drawing to making cards, birthday cards, holiday cards, drawing on pañuelos, on paños, handkerchiefs, drawing on hats, sewing, laundry, plumbing, cable things, so the electrician, things they get out of the kitchen, such as sugar, meats, jellies, peanut butter, syrup for the candy wheels, guys that make candy wheels, cheese, people that make grilled cheese, all that stuff, sugar for the wine, laundry, when you work in the laundry, 3 t-shirts, 3 boxers, go for $1. Brand new stuff, sheets, 2 sheets in a pillowcase, I think was $1 if I remember. And also they'll hem they'll do your pants for visiting, and they'll give you a boot cut, and all that. And they'll measure you the way you want it, your boot cut. So I think mine was a 10.5. I didn't like the 9.5. It brought it too narrow on the bottom. I didn't like that look. So you got that. You got guys that make ink, for the tattoos. You got cats that make they'll get guitar string, and they'll make needles for the tattoo gun. A friend of mine in the video I showed me in a visiting picture with my blue button-up shirt, and I told about the guys in laundry. People sells. Okay, when copy this, they'll find those old school shirts because they don't pass those out no more, and they'll just throw them in the laundry, and then the laundry guys will come up on them wash them. So, they might even iron them, and then they sell them for like $3 or $4. You know what I mean? It's hard. Good luck finding the Levi pants, those old school pants they used to give us. Good luck finding those, but you can get lucky every now and then and find the button-up shirts. Like I said, they go for like $3 or $4. I found a pair of jeans one time. This was like 2008. I paid $20 for them, and then when I transferred in 2009, I sold them for $40. Um, and people were willing to pay it. They were baby cuffed. They still were. A lot of the denim were still in them. That were dark. You know what I mean? They weren't. They were creased up already. They weren't like all faded out. You know what I mean? But even if they're faded out, people would still pay for them as long as they ain't got no rips and stuff like that. Um, what else did I talk about? I talked about the plumbing. How in California you only have 2 flushes. If you flush that third time within 5 minutes, they penalize you for an hour. So keep in mind, there's 2 guys only in the cell. You know what I mean? So you gotta learn how to do the drop and flush and the wipe and flush. Do it thoroughly where you get the best the best bang for your wipe, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you do it the third time, you're penalized for an hour. So just imagine that. You use the restroom, you flush it the third time, you can't flush it for an hour. Now your cellie gotta go. He adds on to it, whatever, either way. And now the smell's gonna be there for a little while. It can be an ugly situation. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to everybody for joining, stopping here. Tim Hennessy, I didn't like that comment today, Tim. I didn't like that comment at all, buddy. Raiders are off limits, homie. You know what I mean? Straight up. Roscoe. What up, Roscoe? Uh, so yeah, I talked about all that stuff, the hustle. Um, what I didn't mention was, I mentioned earlier, but I didn't mention now was when it comes to the tattoo, my homeboy Pancho, and I showed him in a picture, and I saw the homie Smiley who did my A's and my Warriors on my hand. Smiley did those. Pancho did. I showed my inside of my arm the Puerto Rican map, or not the map, but the shape of the island, and it said Borinquen on it with the congas. My homeboy Smiley did those, and then my other inside of my arm is a skull with the brim hat on. He did that as well, but I brought him up because he was selling. He would hook up his gun, not just like a normal tattoo gun where you see the pin, the plastic of the pin. Well, then they'll cut that down, and then the needle will be inside of it. And it's just the motor from the Walkman. You know what I mean? It's real bland gun. It's just a homemade gun. This guy would actually bundle his guns out and make it look like a professional gun, a big gun. And he also would make 8 needle shaders, 16 needle shaders, 12 needle shaders. Because that helps the shading process. Usually, you can what's going to be a better outcome, what's works better. So he was making those and selling them and showing people how to do them, and certain selected few. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. That was a cool. Open time with Big Wavy to show love. Everyone's like Big Weavy's the brother out of West Virginia. He's got a lot of he does different content as far as reaction videos. He's done a lot of different things. He's done things like hip hop music reactions to different channels. As far as that, he's done reaction to Charleston White videos. He's done reaction to the churches in the South with the serpents, where these guys got like a fistful of snakes, venomous snakes too, and they're saying that the religion is so strong. The snakes know if you guys, some of you guys heard that channel, Soft White Underbelly. They came out to his home state of West Virginia, and they found this family called the Whitakers. I guess they're inbred. Not really sure. Like, I kind of asked Big Weeby. He kind of told me it was somewhere down the line. Two sisters married two brothers. Got some cousins that are two brothers married two sisters. Um, you know what I mean? So I'm not really sure where the, you can tell that, they look a little different. Some of them, one brother, I think his name's Ray, he don't talk, he like kind of barks and he points, you know what I mean? But it's very informative. People should listen to some different stories. That way, they're not so close-minded, be more open-minded and learn about people and, different disabilities and so forth. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Good. Thanks, man. Yeah, I got a gang of different. Yeah, you do. Same thing like here. I do mostly sports videos, but I've been dropping a little few things here and there. You know what I mean? Um, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, well, yeah, you don't want to do too much and then, forget about the sports. But the thing is, I continue to do the sports even when I'm dropping other things. So it's not, I'll never lose the sports. And then with sports, you can never run out of content. Never. You could make up your own content on things, and, with the history of basketball, football, baseball, boxing, now MMA, you'll never run out of content. You can make your own stuff up, So it is what it is. I enjoy it. Sports has always been a passion of mine. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's facts. It's a look to a whole different world. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. I know not everybody, but just like with the addiction thing, a lot of that touches home to a lot more people than people want to admit. And the mental health. The mental health is real too. A lot of people, mental capacity deteriorates over time, and I'm not talking about dementia and Alzheimer's. I'm talking about schizophrenia and all that stuff, bipolar, and even PTSD, depression, all that's mental health. You know what I mean? And I always say this, man. Some people might agree with me or not. I don't know, but I say everybody's got. Okay, so let me explain first. Here in California, when they call somebody JCAT, that means they're off, right? Crazy off. I believe it's a clinical term. I believe that's where it came from. It derived from the clinical term. And when you say he's a cat, he's a cat, or he's catting out. He's a J cat. That means he's off a little bit or whatever. And they got heat meds in here, in here. I ain't in there. What am I talking about? Excuse me. Oh boy, they got heat meds, right, which are psych meds, and once it gets over 90 degrees, if it's summertime, you have to come inside the building, or they will recall the building. I mean, they'll recall the yard until you get in there. Now, the other thing is this: certain group segments you cannot take heat meds. You cannot take psych meds if you belong to up under certain organizations. Doesn't mean you're a member. I'm saying if you fall up under certain organizations, group segments, you're not permitted to take psych meds. So that's an issue. Um, so you know what I mean? Again, certain group segments allow it, certain don't say nothing, others don't permit it, and they will enforce it. You can't, you cannot take it. You know what I mean? So that's an issue there. Say 7:30. 7:30. Instead of JCat. Yeah. So what I was going to say was that everybody has a little cat in them. Some have more than others, and I highly, highly believe that 114%. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? Uh, you know what I mean? Like even if it comes to like you singing to yourself sometimes, or you joking around in a third person, all that. That's what I mean by everybody has a little cat. That's just a little joke. You know what I mean? Inside joke. Everybody at that time, they know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Hey, Tim Hennessy, who's your football team? The Rams? Or who are you like?
Let me find out you like the Rams, and only because the Rams won last year, you're talking big shit. Huh? Let me know, player. That's 1,000,000% true, homie. Hey, homie. Don't you know me? Simone. See what I'm doing right now? That would be considered cat now. See? Yes, sir. Anyways, yeah, you've been on 30 minutes already. And then we're going live on the No Fly Zone in about a little less than an hour. Oh, yes. I want to, another thing I probably want to touch on probably tomorrow or something is I want to have a little series on different, like one word, like loyalty. What's that mean? Security. What's that mean? You know what I mean? Uh, honor. What's that mean? You know what I'm saying? I want to touch on things like that. Talk about it. You know, see when we can get going. You know what I mean? I know I just started doing live, so I don't have a lot of subscribers here, but I know in time with me doing more to the channel as far as the intro, outros, and stuff like that, thumbnails. I know that I'll be able to gain more subs and have a bigger crowd. But don't get me wrong, I'm happy with everybody that's here now. You know what I'm saying? That's for sure. You know, I appreciate everybody that's here. Um, and because you guys don't got to come over here and mess with me. You don't got to give me no time. No none of your guys' time. You know what I mean? If you guys doing it, I appreciate it. It means a lot. Um, I seen. I watched Harvey today too. Was talking about the fights, prison. That's something else I'm gonna touch on too, because California, there ain't no fights. There ain't no fight. You don't fight. I mean, it's what I mean by that is you don't give nobody a one-on-one. You don't do it within your own peoples, and you don't do it with nobody else. It just is what it is. One goes, we all go. That's how it's arranged. You know what I mean? Now, don't. I was gonna tell some stories about when I was in the county jail years back. I've only been to the county jail honor farm twice. It was for the same sentence. I did roughly about half my time, and they had a thing called AWP, Alternate Work Program. And what they were doing was they would let you buy out the remainder of your time. You'd have to give them a fee for buying out. It was like $12 a day, and then you had to go work for them for 8 hours a day. It could be at dumps. It could be at let me see, two different dump locations. You can go Caltrans, which is on the freeway and on the country roads picking up papers as the bus is driving, the van or the bus is driving next to you. Um, you can go, something else sad. I believe the county hospital was another one. Um, and there was a few other ones. I can't remember all of them. Yeah, likewise, brother. Same. Igualmente, just chilling. Um, and you can go over there and do your work, alternate working over there. The hospital that you would do like I think you could do because I remember my brother had to do it one time. You would have to go and like they just had a bunch of different things you could do there. I think most of his thing was in laundry. He was working in the laundry at the hospital, doing the bedding and washing sheets and stuff like that in a big washer. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I went to that. I didn't do well. I messed up. Every time you missed a day too, you had to go pay 25. Was it $25 or $50? You had to pay. I think it was $25. Yeah, if you missed a day, you had to pay them $25. And so I ended up missing too many days. And then I told my probation officer. I called him. I said, "Hey, you know what, man? Fuck these people. Fuck you." No, I didn't tell him fuck you. I said, "Fuck them people." I said, "You know what? It is what it is. You're gonna have to catch me when you catch me." I told him, "I'm not turning myself in." So they ended up catching me, and then I had to go through the remainder of my time, which I did. And then and that's why I went there twice. You know what I mean? Two different occasions. But it might get a little loud right now because I'm going through the car wash. What up, Joey Melrose? And so that's why I've been there twice. But way back then, the jail was not running up the par like it should have been. And what I mean by that is that pretty much all the jails in Northern California are ran like the pen. But at that time, the county that I was at wasn't running like the pen. It was all jacked up. So I did see a couple of one-on-one fights between homies and blacks a couple of times. But that's not something that permitted. We're supposed to, So I did see it. Excuse me, it's a little loud. I'm almost out of here already. But yeah, it has happened. It has happened, but now, like I said, it's all ran like a pin, and there is no one-on-ones. It'll be, if something happens like that, it'll be considered a threat, and then everybody's gonna go. You know. Yeah. Cool. Big Weeby. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Um. Yeah. Yeah. So it is what it is. On that, but in jail, I remember every now and then we have youngsters that would come out of the hole and they'd be super, what we call Masculine make it wild, super serio, super soldiers. Nothing to do with a cell soldier. They would be super soldier and they would come out there and they would try to tell me, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. I said, no, 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 we ain't got to do any of that. You know what I mean? They would try to push the issue that everybody had to do burpees, which that is usually the norm now. But at that time, no. I said, no, look, homeboys are playing basketball, they're working out, they're doing other things, that's fine. As long as they're doing some type of working out, and that could be cardio, sweating, that's fine. That's all we're gonna do. It was funny. It was weird though how some guys try to push up different times there, as far as uh like one time the guy tried to come over, he tried to tell me that this one guy's coming and that I need to get him out of there as soon as he comes and blah 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 blah. And so I had one of my big homies from my town there with me, and I took him with me over there, and we had like a sit down, and literally a sit down, four of us. It was the dude who tried to tell me that, or the guy that was a little bit older than him that was well seasoned, and my big homie knew him real well, knew his whole family. They both knew each other's families really well, and we had a sit down and passed around each other's numbers, as far as our California Department of Corrections numbers. I was a youngster in the game at the time, but I already had done time in the state, so I was seasoned. I was seasoned already. I was schooled young. I knew right from wrong on that. I knew that what he was telling me wasn't right. And so it took me getting the big homie to take him over there with me because he was affiliate. He had status. And I'm not gonna say his name or that, but he had status, and he pushed up, he pushed back. You know what I mean? He pushed back. Yeah, he pushed back from what the dude. The dude changed his tune right from the gate when we sat out. As soon as we sat out, he changed his tune with me immediately. You know what I mean? And the big homie talked to him, and like I said, he changed his tune. It is what it is. But I'm glad he was there with me because he was trying to tell me that I had to do this, I had to do that, and not necessarily me being the one to put hands or whatever on the guy, but for me to have it done. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was what it was, but the fact was is that uh, I'm not gonna even get into all that. That doesn't matter. I'm not really here. I'm not really into telling war stories. I'm not really into definitely into talking about politics as far as like active things and stuff. So I'm not even gonna get into the rest of it. But it is what it is. It was fun one time back then. To a certain degree. All these guys. You grow up. With all these different guys in the system. You guys are all about the same age. You meet them. At the county jail. And then you guys start going to the reception center together. You see the same faces then as now. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah. So I'm gonna what is Joey Middle say? Those guys, whatever. I don't know. Right, talking about who stand-up guy now. But well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tap out here. Give me a little bit of time to get ready. Bye. I appreciate it. We might carry that conversation over about the kids of today compared to when we were kids, you know, and there it is there. So be sure if anybody listening or who watches this later within the next just watching period, and if you haven't already, go to the No Fly Zone Weekends, sub, like, and share. And then also, if this is the first time that you're running across this channel, What It Do with Big Lou, NFCR2, share, like, and sub to it. And it's highly appreciated. With that being said, y'all already know Big Lou gonna go ahead and tap on out with What It Do, Big Lou, and then ZR2, baby. I'm out.